This is a magazine review of Epic Illustrated from Marvel Comics. This came out in August 1981. Wow, quite a few years, 40 years ago now. And I really love these issues of Epic. I brought out, I don't know how long it lasted for actually. I bought quite a few issues, but I stopped around about issue 12 or 13. But I did enjoy the early runs of stories. I think probably the reason it was quite expensive. I noticed on the thing it says £2. Now I don't know how much that was. Probably can't see the American price, but about $4, I suppose. Now this main reason I bought this because of Barry Windsor Smith. I love his artwork. So this obviously is post Conan. Obviously still heavily influenced that sword and sorcery, pre-Raphaelite, Burne Jones, that sort of feel to it. And you've got an advert for heavy metal in there. I love the adverts in these things. That sometimes is some of the best things. I mean, the stories are pretty good as well. You also got official Star Wars fan club. Of course, you've got the original Star Wars characters. Then you go into Neal Adams, great old Neal Adams story, Holocaust. Now that's an interesting story. How's the artwork? I love Neal Adams' artwork. It's slightly blurry in places. I'm not saying maybe it's just, but I love his panel construction. I love the way all the artwork moves through it and the way he uses the imagery. I just think they're great. But there is a slight blurriness to the picture, the artwork, for some weird reason. Just maybe that's my eyes. But however, it's a good little story, about 6 or 7 pages. And yeah, excellent. Actually, it continues a bit later. This is always one thing that always slightly bugs me. I'm never certain why you have to have a continues on page 91. You think, oh, because what often I do, I then go to page 91 and skip all the rest and then go back. You've got media view. You've got here talking about all the films that have just come out. You've got here Superman 2, Outland, Dragon Slayer, The Hand, which I must admit, never seen. Never seen The Hand. I don't know what that one is. Escape from New York. Love that film. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Very enjoyable. Night Riders. Never seen that. Which is weird because it's George Romero. And I love the Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Dead and all those sort of things. Night of the Living Dead. And next one, Ebus, is the next story. And I love the artwork in this. It's an interesting story as well. It's got, again, a bit of a twist at the end. And I love the line work in this. This is very unusual. Again, a fairly short story. And obviously a very singular palette there. You can see the brown palette there. Then on to Vision and Quest. This is an article about Barry Windsor Smith. Reason I bought it, love his work. This is, of course, after Conan. And also it mentions a bit of things like the Avengers. That was like 98, 99, 100. I love that period. Also, of course, Daredevil and things that he did quite a bit of other work than Conan. But he also talks about obviously Conan in here, as well as Greek myths, mythology, etc. He also talks about the Tate Gallery, obviously pre-Raphaelites, obviously, Rossetti and Burne Jones, etc. It's gorgeous. Obviously, photo of Barry Windsor Smith. And then, now I first thought when I saw this, there's a bit of a strip there, and I thought, oh, it's Conan, because it looks a bit like Conan. However, it's not. It's Mandro. Now, it mentions Mandro, and it mentions about this film of Mandro. Now, I assume this was never made, or if it was, I was looking for it, and I can't find any information about the film Mandro. Anyway, then on to Metamorphosis Odyssey, and you've got a bit of lovely Jim Starlin artwork. As ever, very confusing story. I must admit, I always find these stories very confusing all over the place. Maybe I just add too many layers of sort of onto it, but it's very odd, but still great artwork. And then we go on to, and this continues in the next issue. So I have no idea how the story continues. Issue 8, I do not have. So The Egg is the next story, and this is by not J.K. Rowling, but J.K. Potter. It's very close, I suppose. Tim Caldwell. And this is an unusual sort of photo imagery with an egg story. And it's plain weird. Then on to Game View, talking about Space Invaders and Asteroids, games that I do remember, sort of. I did play them a few times. I must admit, games have never been a particularly thing. Some of my friends would play those endlessly, especially Asteroids. This one's got the Lees. Now this is by John Bolton, brilliant artist, and the story is obviously undersea story, and it's lovely, the beautiful blues there. And again, another twist ending. There's a lot of twist endings in these. Then there's a book view, and it's talking about the Merlin Trilogy by Mary Stewart. Then UFO, which is a very odd little story in a sort of photorealistic-ish sort of painted drawing effect. So that's good, unusual. And then on to, and I cannot read that. I have no idea what that says. Comedy, maybe. The Egyptian. Actually quite good little artwork, but the story, there's no actual words in it. So actually I have no idea, other than obviously reading the little sort of bit of a banner down the bottom. And then it finishes off with the brilliant bit of Neal Adams with again a twist ending there. And then the next one is actually shows what's coming up obviously in the next issue. And you've got a lovely, this one's Art Saddam. And also Howard Chaykin, Trina Robbins, Tim Conrad, etc. Then finishing off with feedbacks and letters there, and an advert for Yukon Jack, which I have no idea about. So anyway, I love this magazine. Epic Illustrated, really, really good. Worth checking out all the other Epic Illustrateds. And like I say, I would love to see an omnibus edition of this, or even an Epic collection. Obviously, an Epic collection would be slightly diminishing because it would be smaller, but an omnibus edition would be just perfect for these epics. I mean, they've brought out all the Creepies, Eerie, Vampirella, all those sort of things in those sort of volumes. So why not this brilliant series of Epic Illustrated? Baffling. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed this.